Hi, I'm Charles here. I just want to let you know happy Friday, guys. I'm going to share a video about a guy. His name is Boris. He's a successful accountant. And his vision of his life was he wasn't planning to be an accountant, but he was a tradie. However, through endurance and going through TAFE, he managed to get his life into the accounting and auditing field. And as a result, I'm going to share his video. On the other hand, I want to let you know that apologize to all of you. I made a mistake with this video. I forgot to hit record. You will see me announce this mistake in my video with this guy called Boris. But why I want to share this video is because I want to share this video to my audience to know that anybody can be successful out there, can achieve their dreams and goals. The only thing that's stopping you is yourself, and you need to put your mind to it, and you need to be a person that says, I'm not going to dwell on the problem, I'm going to dwell in the solution, and I'm going to put myself out there to push myself to be that kind of person that will provide not just for myself but for my family. Boris is a guy, he has a family, he has children and a wife. He works very hard and he's able to become a successful accountant.
Had this old accounting textbook that she
I'm
had
so sorry.
from when. Oh, good.
I forgot to record.
And
My
oh,
fault.
that is
Yeah,
all good.
so
Mhm. Mhm.
just sorry, I'll go back to the question. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so yeah,
so I
okay.
just
Mhm.
so when you were 18, what was your first vision of your life? Did you have any idea where you want to go? Sorry about that. I forgot to
All
record.
good. So yeah, so it was interesting because I kind of had this idea what to because I always like trains
Hmm.
and also like cars, so I kind of wanted to be like a train driver or a truck driver.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess at the same time, I kind of always felt like you always kind of go, well, I do have this opportunity to also get further education, right? So I should really take this opportunity since I got parents who are supportive of that. And then after, so I didn't really do well at school because I actually was just watching the computer games during my year 12. So, so after I finished my HSC, I was sort of wondering what I should be doing. And then my mom had like an accounting textbook that she had from because she used to do a bit of accounting, and then I started like looking at that. I was actually kind of thinking, oh, it actually sounds alright, it's pretty cool. Like I liked all sort of rules and things that you do in accounting and all those like journal entries, and yeah, and so I went to decided I might go to because I couldn't go to any uni because of my rubbish HSC marks, so I went to TAFE.
Hmm.
And so I did like a advanced diploma of accounting in TAFE, and then I went to uni from there. And then viewing I basically managed to find my current job through essentially kind of like an accident. It's basically like I helped this woman um with her studies, and then she was actually a recruitment agent, and she was sort of like, I'm gonna get you a job. And so she basically managed to yeah, kind of get an interview at my current job, and that's where I still am. So it's kind of interesting in that way, yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. That's a big vision of your life. And look, even I didn't get that good marks. Okay, I got a passing mark, but I managed to go into Macquarie Uni and complete my
Nice.
study. And I didn't complete my CPA until probably like more more than more than 13 years down the track, and I got
Oh
my
wow, that's
CPA.
hard.
So
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that with you. You are not
Mm.
alone, and you have done well for yourself. And now look at where you are, and look at why I mean, I am. I'm now the senior financial accountant in
Mm.
a big company. I won't name the
Mm.
company, but I'm in the senior financial accountant in a in an investment company. That's why I like to
Yeah,
name
exactly. Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Mm.
So the next question is, what are some life skills you learned ever since you moved out of home? Would you have developed those skills if you did not leave home?
I'd probably say that like there's a lot of things just to do with running a house, like even even something breaks down, what do you do? And who do you call and stuff. And I kind of feel a lot of the skills are almost not taught in school or uni in a sense. It's almost I feel like we're sort of like probably people nowadays are a bit people who are starting out now are probably somewhat have it somewhat easier in the sense they have like you could just go to Google and ask Google AI like, hey, what do I do? But for when you're starting out initially, I think it's kind of hard in a sense because I don't know, even like just little things. I think even the fact that if you get a car or something, if you get a car and you have to do something to it, or when you have to do something, all of, like even the fact that you say, for example, you have to service your car every so often. I think it's kind of like not that automatically people will know that sort of stuff because again, no one tells you that. So I think one big thing that I've definitely learned is to dealing with tradespeople. And I think maybe in the beginning I was maybe a bit too, it's easy to get taken advantage of because
Mm-hmm.
you just sort of trust whatever they say, but it sort of became a bit more variable with stuff where you kind of go, hang on a second, like let's check what someone's actually telling you, whether it's correct or not, or whether they're trying to like overcharge you or things like that. So I'll probably say
Yeah.
that's an important skill to learn when you're living independently. Yeah.
Actually, I can relate to that, and I will share a few examples. Yeah. So one of the life skills is cooking. The first
Mm.
time I cooked, I just
Yes.
burnt my egg. It's I don't blame anyone but myself, but at home, I couldn't even use the kitchen. And obviously, when you were a child, you're uh, the food most of the time. Some people are good teachers, but I was not taught by a good teacher. You see, I won't name the person, but she would not let me use the kitchen because she wouldn't let me make mistakes. And I learned from making tiny mistakes. I said, oh, maybe I cooked it too long, maybe I cooked it too short. I can now cook eggs. So don't worry, I don't burn my egg. But when I first started, my eggs was black. And I say, because my brain was not trained to understand how the kitchen works. So I think we've kind of learned the skills. And even when I had my apartment, I was not good at looking for trade person. And the first person over they charged me something for what I didn't know. And I was not experienced with that. Now I have some experience. I know that what to do. I know to get more quotes and I know to look for more reviews. And there's no perfect solution. You don't know until you actually experience it. You might get ripped off by someone who charged you $4,000 instead of $1,000. I'll give you an example like that because that person, you don't know him or her. So,
Precisely.
yeah. So, anyway, that's the one thing we learned. So, yeah, when we moved out home and we actually tend to experience this and we can adopt our lesson. So, the first home you moved out of on your own, what was it like? Did you live like a share house, your own rental, or did you go straight to your own place?
No, I think I actually only moved out when I got married, so went to living in an apartment. So I actually think the big thing for me was it's a bit funny, but the big thing for me was coming from like again I have a brother as well, so I come from like a slightly bigger family, um, and then also my like we sort of just felt like with more people around the house, and it's actually interesting because it's almost like a bit of a shock from going from living with multiple people to only living with one person.
Yourself?
So it's kind of interesting to kind of adjust to that. I think another big thing is that that's probably common to anyone who moves out. I think it's like initially when you move out from your house, it takes a while for your new home to actually feel like home because you're so used to living in, you know, with your parents, right? So I think that's kind of a thing that was interesting to adjust to. That takes a bit of time to really feel it. Like now only, but it's funny because when you start feeling like your new home is your home, you kind of forget how that felt like somehow. Like it's a little
Mm.
weird feeling in that way. Yeah, but that's what I found kind of interesting that maybe people don't quite think about, I guess, when I don't think they would think about when they move out. Um, so I essentially didn't have a sort of a share house experience, I have to admit. But I suppose going from living in a house back to living in an apartment, I didn't mind as much because I come from the Soviet Union time and Russia and Soviet Union. most people like live in apartments. So I pretty much grew up like I grew up living in the apartment, and when we came to Australia, we lived in the apartment initially as well. So it was actually quite familiar to me. Mhm.
Okay, thank you for sharing. And look, I could share a bit about my own experience too.
Mhm.
So when I first moved out of home to 23, I was living with three people, my sister and my
Mhm.
housemate. Yeah,
Mhm.
so my male housemate. I have found that it's very different to living at home.
Mhm.
No one looks after you. So one of the things was
Yeah.
all the food, all the groceries is on mine. We shared the fridge. So
Oh,
we get certain sections of the fridge, and we have to label our food, which is fine. But yeah. So and yeah, I don't like to I'm hesitant to touch food that I don't know if it's mine, so I label my food. So one other thing that's a share house, or you just have a
Mhm.
section. And the other thing is getting used to paying bills. When I'm at home, I never experience paying bills, so sometimes I overuse. When I'm out there, I just say, "Oh, my heater cost me an extra
Oh
$100."
yeah.
Yeah, and I just say, "Oh, ouch." And I said, maybe I should learn to pay bills. I learned how to utilize my resources, and because of that, I has developed a discipline of what it's like to live outside of home. When I'm at home, I can't really develop that skill of what it's like to take ownership of everything that you pay for to use. Yeah. But when I'm
Mhm.
outside, I I really enjoyed the fact that everything I did was my responsibility. Yeah. Also, we share the bills, which is good. And rarely and there's been dispute because I had mostly had good housemates, but there have been times
Mhm.
where it's challenging. Okay, let's try the thing. Can you explain your
Mhm.
career journey? What was it like? What was your first job and where did you work?
Oh yeah, so yeah, this was that. So basically, my career journey was essentially the same. Um, Accounting firm. So I sort of joined when I was because what happened was it was when I was in uni, I actually did the honors, like my honors year.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
kind of joined my but I did my I started doing like I started working part time when I was in the middle of my honors year, and
Mm,
so I progressed to full time after I finished. uh, I think the good thing about like the good thing about working, I'll probably say working in a small firm versus a bigger firm is that you get to observe the entire process of things from start to finish, which you might not necessarily get in a bigger firm. And I think also I was probably a bit I was kind of coming at the time when getting paid as much, there wasn't as much expectation of young workers, and so a lot of times I could actually do work where I could actually get work and try to figure a lot of things out myself, even if it took like longer. So the first time I think I did a job, it took me like maybe 2 weeks to do something or 3 weeks to do something, right? But like I learned like a lot from that, which I think
mm,
in bigger
mm,
companies you might not necessarily maybe get that opportunity
mm,
because you're always only doing a part of something, not something from start to finish. um,
mm,
and so it's kind of interesting sort of thing to think about in terms of as a career development thing. And I guess also the other thing is I felt like I had to train people quite early in my career because we sort of
mm,
started hiring other people, and again, I'm not sure whether I would get sort of opportunity if I was in PwC or UI or those big fours, kind of thing. Yeah, so that's also quite a good experience because again, to train someone, you'll have to know what you're actually doing. um,
wow.
yeah, and so I sort of I guess I've progressed. I've progressed from. I mean, it's a bit funny because when you're in a small firm, I'm technically a senior. I'm technically like a senior manager, but I kind of felt like I've been a senior manager before, so I had officially had the title, just because I've been there for ages already, and you just you just naturally obviously have to train people and all sorts of stuff, and people
Mm,
expecting more from you because you've been there for longer. So yeah,
mm,
uh, that
wow.
was my
You
sort of thing. Yeah.
you definitely progress a lot in your career and then even become a senior manager. So that means I believe you can successfully look after yourself with the way you become, and
Mm.
also knowing that you have a family to look after too. So you've actually become successful yourself through your career journey as well as moving out because you have that mindset that you have responsibility no matter what you do. Even if you do nothing, you go home, you still have bills to pay. Yeah.
Yeah, precisely. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Look, even if you don't use water, you never turn on the lights. Unless you cut everything off, and you're still going to pay something. You have to
Something,
pay
yeah, it's
it,
like that.
and you have to pay for your food too. So we developed the habit that everything has a cost, and we have to work towards it. Okay, now next question is this is to test your resourcefulness and what kind of things you would do. So when you first get your car, okay, what kind of vehicle did you purchase? And for the first vehicle, have you ever changed cars since then?
Actually, yeah, no, I haven't. So I bought when the kids were born, or the first child, I should say, was born. Like at that point, I felt like I should have a car because once you have a baby, then yeah, it's much easier to have a car to carry them around. So I actually bought this 1996 Toyota Corolla.
Okay.
That was back in like 2010. So which I still have now. So it's sort of almost as old as me, right?
Wow. You're more resilient than me. I mean, my first car, I didn't like the fact that it was purchased for me. Um, but it was purchased for me, so it was a Toyota Camry.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
it was a good car, but I wish I could have earned it myself. Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's yeah. And then I think the second car I started purchasing some with my own a bit of my own me and my wife's money.
mm.
So yeah, so we bought a Toyota Corolla 2016. And my
Nice.
current car, I sold my Corolla. I got a Mitsubishi Outlander. So that's my car. I just want
Cool.
like a bigger car. So
That's true, makes it does make it a bit easier.
so you are you're very resilient with your own car. That tells me you want to keep it until you cannot use it anymore. Yeah,
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I think so. Like, 'cause
yeah,
my thing is, I feel like I can't quite maybe afford to buy a new car, and then it's kind of a waste of money anyway. And then if I buy a second-hand car, then what's the point? It might be, not very good.
yeah.
And if my car now is doing all
Well,
right, it's like might as well just keep it.
for
I mean,
for account,
I have no major problems basically since I got it. I mean, obviously you have to replace things here and there, but like, yeah, overall, it's
yeah,
sort of pretty good. I think the good thing about Corollas, especially the older cars, is that they don't seem to. There's because there's no real computer. Modern cars have more computer parts and all this sort of
yeah,
stuff. And I think maybe there's more things to break down, but the kind of this 90s Corollas or 90s cars are like tractors basically. There's not much to
yes.
it. Just the engine and the body, and that's it.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So why I mentioned car is because I want to imagine if someone was 18, they have a few $1,000s in saving. What would they do? What kind of car they get? And I think the people who got the old car or bought the current car with their own effort, they'll value it more than if someone was handed a blank check to get whatever car they want. And
Mm.
they tend to not value it as much because they think they didn't earn it. They didn't put that effort into it, you see? But they will probably put a
Yeah,
lot of
like
effort to
that.
protect it, but it might not be as valuable as someone, okay, I spent 20 hours, 50 hours earning my money to buy this car. Why am I going to destroy my car? So you see, compared to someone who's
Yeah,
saying.
precisely that.
So I think that when you earn something, you build up into intrinsic value and you build up how
Mm.
can I earn it there? And next time up, what can I do to earn whatever I need to do to get there? So that is good trigger. So the next one is what are some struggles or challenges you face as an independent person? Name one challenge in your life that you could or not nearly could not overcome, and how did you overcome it? It can be financial, it can be personal, it can be whatever. I just
Mm.
want to see what's the challenge that you had to overcome.
Yeah, I think actually it was kind of the whole thing of like getting ripped off by tradespeople. And I kind of feel
Really?
that like it was kind of a good trigger for me to start doing more research on stuff. I think that's the way to really overcome it, right? Is to and again, given that's a lot easier these days with AI and like just being able to do, being able to like find things out in terms of how much things should cost in different places.
Mm.
Um, Yeah, so it definitely was like a bit of a revelation with that sort of stuff, I reckon, to and kind of it's quite hard. I think it's quite hard to find reputable tradespeople or the ones who actually want to be off this. Yeah, but that's kind of I think it's definitely one of the challenges that like I found um in
I
terms of
think
just independent living.
I
Actually, it
think
reminds me because there was I remember when just in terms of independent living in general, I remember when me and my brother we used to sometimes our parents would go for a visit to like Russia and then leave me and my brother by ourselves for like a month, we were older. But there's like a bit of a revelation. You suddenly go, oh wait, actually, if I'm not at home to like hang the laundry, it doesn't get hanged. If I'm not home to do something, it doesn't actually get done.
yeah, because we live in Australia, we can't afford a servant at home unless
Yeah,
they're
precisely. Yeah,
billionaire. I wish
exactly.
I wish I lived a life, but I also concerned that even if I did have the money, I'll lose the skill to look after myself. So I value some things I can do myself, like iron my clothes.
Oh yeah, I think so. I agree. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yes.
Anyway, that's just my thought, even if I had the money. So yeah.
Hmm.
And okay. And I mean, one of the things I learned that is my friend who doesn't have as much money, I know one person, he bought a really old car and he has to constantly service the car. So he learned a lot about car just because of that. And
Oh yeah, true.
okay, so this is the last question, and then I'll close the interview. Yeah. So what would happen if you lost your job today? Do you have a plan in place?
I think my plan is to essentially I I feel that my plan is essentially that I feel like I can sort of more easily find another job because of um sort of having more experience through that. And I think also the other thing is that maybe again like working in a smaller company, you know, you don't get maybe paid the mega bucks kind of thing. But I think because of that, our lifestyle is very simple, like
Mm.
so because of that, it's sort of easier to adjust to any income that I have. So I kind of feel it gives me a bit of almost like a bit of a leg up because in a sense I don't need to maintain like any sort of lifestyle. If I find another job, I can fairly easily get like a accept like a lower salary because
Mm.
I don't there's not nothing where I go like, oh no, I'm used to like going on holidays every overseas holidays every year. Now I can't do it anymore. Like there's nothing like that. Everything is just like I just need enough money to live just normal life basically. So that's kind of a plan at the moment. Yeah, and I mean it's hard to. I still feel as though it'd be nice to get some sort of a side, um, you know, hustle you might call it, or something like that, where I could make money apart from my job. But so far I haven't quite figured out what that might be.
It is not easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, even look, I haven't I've got a rough plan how I'm going to make an income from this. At the moment, I'm doing it free of charge because I'm trying to create awareness and I'm trying to create audience. But
Yeah, yeah.
I one of the things I'm going to do is I am providing consulting services. So I want to help my clients, if I do get any paid clients, to track their progress, you see. So and also independent is a skill to have, you see. Many people who have problems, they say, "Oh no, don't worry, I have always got someone to help me out," and that is it's good, but you also lose the ability to say instead of asking that question, you also have the ability, how can I overcome this problem? We might not have a
Hmm.
blank check. No, I don't have a blank check. See, and I have
Yeah,
to.
I guess.
Yeah, you don't have a blank check, right? So
Yeah, no, definitely not.
yeah. So you can't. So if you incur the maybe we if it's a few $100, we
No.
can take that. If it's a few $1,000, then we start questioning, asking question why are we paying it. If it's tens
Yeah.
of thousands of dollars, which I had a tens of thousands of dollars, we'll start. Oh, okay, what can I do? What can I cut back? What can I put off? Or how can I delay defer? You see, so I don't ask for help. I don't say I don't call my siblings, call my family. I don't call people to help. Of course, your wife has to contribute because you are you are living as one. But outside of that, I don't ask people around my extended family for help because I know there are ways to resolve it without asking for help. Yeah. And
for sure.
yeah. And I had to cut back on holidays for 6 months just because of that bill. So that's something I did. Yeah. But that's why I'm trying to build that independence. I said, if you can overcome whatever you can overcome today or any problem, you will be more resourceful. I'm not saying we shouldn't ask for help, but the first point of call is we should try to find out how can we solve it ourselves before asking for help, you see. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's much better to
yeah, so I appreciate your time, Boris. Thank you. And I'm going to cut the recording, okay? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So